Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our CSU Wellbeing Cooking Demo. I am Lashika Thomas, the Assistant Director at the Rec Center at Columbus State, and I'm also your CSU Wellbeing Liaison. And today, we have a couple special guests with us, and one of them is Valerie, and then we have Ms. Ann. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Ms. Valerie.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you again virtually from my kitchen, where we are going to take a journey with blueberries. So we're going to learn about blueberries, and then we're also going to cook with some of these really super delectable, versatile berries. I'm really excited today because we have with us this morning Ann Wilds, who is a blueberry farmer in Alma, Georgia, which is the blueberry capital of the world. Alma farms 50 acres of blueberries. She's been doing so for around 30 years. She is going to take us through the journey of a blueberry. So the backstory behind what happens to a blueberry before it ever reaches the supermarket shelves and onto our table. Alma has an impressive history. She is an educator. She was educating children for about 30 years. She's now retired. She's worked with middle schools and high schools. She's worked with the UGA Cooperative Extension and 4-H programs. If that's not enough to keep her busy, around 2013, she started her business called the Blueberry Barn, which is in Alma, Georgia. I had a chance to look at the site last night. It's a fantastic store, and it includes everything and anything that's blueberry is within her store. So this is going to be a really interesting journey. So we're going to learn, and then we're going to cook. But first, I'm going to hand it over to Ann to take us through the journey of a blueberry. So Ann, over to you.
Thank you, Valerie. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity to share with you about blueberries because I love blueberries. And I want to tell you, first of all, a little bit about Georgia. Georgia grows about 25,000 acres of blueberries. The farm gate value in Georgia is over $350 million, and that's an economic impact of $1 billion. That's pretty impressive. Blueberries are the #1 fruit grown in Georgia. Now I know you think, well, we're the peach state. Well, we are, and we'll always be the peach state, but we actually grow more blueberries and have for several years than we do peaches. You know, in 2014, that was probably the perfect year for us. We grew over 96 million pounds of those little blueberries. Now, since then, the weather hasn't cooperated as much, unfortunately, so we haven't done that well in production. But we do have some of the best blueberries in the world. We have in Georgia 2 varieties, or 2, we call them types of blueberries. We have one that is native to Georgia, and it's called the rabbit eye. The rabbit eye was discovered many years ago by some researchers here in Georgia at ABAC, as a matter of fact, and the doctor who discovered that or created that particular type of berry said that the blueberry looked like the eye of a rabbit. So he called it rabbit eye. Now, the rabbit eyes are native. They are the ones that we are picking right now. They're the later variety. And in the last 10, 15 years, we've gotten a new type of blueberries called the Southern High Bush. Now these come in 2 to 3 weeks earlier than the rabbit eyes, and the high bush berries you have to frost protect. You must have irrigation, overhead irrigation on those blueberries because they cannot take the very, very cold winters we sometimes have. In fact, in 2018, we had a late freeze actually in March the 19th, I believe to be exact. And unfortunately, that year, we on our farm did not pick the first blueberry because the high bush was already full of berries and the rabbit eye was full of blooms. And when that came, and it only took one night at 24 degrees, it destroyed everything. Burned the blooms off of the rabbit eyes, destroyed the berries on the high bush. That was a pretty rough year for us. Blueberries, now when I'm talking about types, there's two types, but underneath those types are lots of varieties. And they're early season, mid-season, and late season. And farmers will grow a variety of those blueberries because they want to have blueberries coming in throughout the season. And our season starts mid-April and goes through mid-June. Actually, we just stopped picking yesterday. The season, it started 2 weeks early for us, and it ended about 2 weeks early for us here on our farm. So we're actually done with blueberries. One of the reasons that blueberries are so prolific here in South Georgia is our soil. We have perfect soil for blueberries. They like a sandy, acid soil. The soil pH needs to be between 4.5 and 5.2 for the best growth. The southern high bush, we grow in peat moss, or most growers will get pine bark and actually grow the berries in that because they have to have a lot of organic matter to grow. The rabbit eyes, on the other hand, like I said, they have been here forever. And so they don't require anything really special to grow. When you plant the berries need to be planted. You get about 1,000 plants per acre. High bush, a little over 1,000, and rabbit eye, about 900. Here's the problem with the high bush. The high bush bring in more money because they come in early in the year, but their life expectancy is not but about 10 years, and then growers have to replace those. The rabbit eyes, they can last 25 years. The rabbit eyes can. You plant them in 12-foot rows, 3.5 to 4 feet between plants. It takes, the second year you plant them, you could probably hand pick a few, but it takes 3 years for them to grow into what we consider full production. When berries are in full production, we hope the ideal would be 14,000 pounds per acre. The average is about 7,000 to 8,000 pounds per acre. We start picking with by hand. Usually the blueberries are picked, especially those early, the high bush early ones are usually picked by hand. Growers will get in workers to come in and hand pick those. And then once the season is rolling, and especially when we get into the rabbit eyes, they use a machine, a huge machine that fits over the plant. The plant goes actually through the machine, and it has fingers like this that will tap the plant gently, and the blueberries fall down into conveyor belts and then into lugs. The lugs are then taken to a packing plant where they have all kinds of equipment in that packing shed. In the packing shed, they get out all the leaves, the sticks, the red ones, the green ones, so that when you go to the store and you buy those cute little clam shells, they're all blue, they're all perfect, they're all the same size. So that's pretty much how a blueberry starts. Now, they have to fertilize them to start with about 2 times a year, and they have to have water. You have to irrigate. But blueberries do not like wet feet. They don't like to stay wet. So you have to make sure that where you plant them, the water can percolate through. They do not like standing water. They have a very shallow root system. In fact, blueberries are a first cousin to an azalea. So where an azalea can grow, a blueberry can grow. Now, the most important thing when you're going to plant a blueberry, whether it's at your home or a farmer, you do a soil sample because it's the soil is extremely important when you're planting blueberries. So be sure that you do that. You may say, well, okay, so why do we have so many blueberries in Georgia? I mean, what's the deal? There are about 12 counties in the southern part of Georgia, Bacon County being like the center point. We were fortunate enough to get the title of Blueberry Capital of Georgia because at that time we grew more blueberries in Bacon County than any other county in the state of Georgia. Now it has branched out: Clinch County, Ware County, Coffee County, Akron County. The list goes on where blueberries are grown down here. So there's probably 12, 13 counties that are the crux of the blueberry industry down here. In the 70s, our area down here, and you may know this if you're older, you may realize that we were the tobacco belt. We grew tobacco. Well, in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, they realized tobacco was going to go out. We had to have another crop. Something had to take its place. Well, blueberries did, and I'm so thankful that it did. It started out fairly slow here in our area, but what really caused the major explosion of people growing blueberries for the health benefit. Blueberries are an amazing fruit. In fact, they're called a superfruit because they are so full of antioxidants. I'm going to tell you just a few of the amazing things about blueberries. They help brain health, memory loss. You're my age, you really care about that. I ate lots of blueberries to help. They can actually lower the LDL oxidation damage to your body, lower cholesterol, reduces blood pressure. It accelerates your muscle recovery after exercise. I don't exercise, so I don't need that, but if you do, that could really help you out. Did you know that blueberries can help reduce abdominal fat? In fact, I had a lady come in the store and she swears that it's because she started eating my blueberries that she had lost weight. Hey, I'll take that. It lowers your triglycerides, improves glucose and insulin sensitivity. It slows vision loss, improves cardiovascular health, attacks cancer-causing free radicals. Oh, I can go on. It inhibits growth of bacteria in the urinary tract. Fiber, they're loaded with fiber. They help with digestion. And get this, there's articles out there that say blueberries are the new Valium. It's a great antidepressant. The nutrition of a blueberry is just out of this world. They, of course, have no fat. They have high vitamin C, which is what you need during this virus mess. They have manganese, which is great for your bone development, fiber, and in one cup, there's only 80 calories. Blueberries can be eaten fresh. You don't have to peel them, pit them. You don't have to do anything to a blueberry, but pop it in your mouth. You can eat them fresh, frozen, dried. You can put them in muffins and cakes and pies. Oh, drop them on your cereal in the morning, your yogurt. It is just incredible what these little blues can do, and the power, the punch that they pack is just amazing. So I hope I've told you enough to get your interest up that you want to eat more blueberries. Our season is coming to a close rapidly here in Georgia. Now up in North Georgia, they'll still be picking some later on. And you'll be able to find blueberries year-round in your grocery. I would really, really encourage you when Georgia, Florida, Michigan, California, where we have our fruit in season, please eat USA fruit. Don't eat that foreign stuff until we don't have any more. Because I can guarantee you food safety is a tremendous, it's just something we take great pride in here in the United States, is our food safety, especially Georgia. And I just encourage you to eat Georgia whenever you can get it, because it's the best. I'm a little prejudiced, but it's the best. All right, I don't know if I've taken up enough time or if I've told you all you want to know, but I'll be here if you have any questions.
Thank you, Anne. We appreciate you joining us, and stick around for these lovely recipes that we're about to have with your blueberries from Miss Valerie.
Yes, so that's fantastic. So Anne has just highlighted so much of the information that I've researched myself about blueberries, and within a couple of minutes, she summarized about 6 hours worth of research on all the medical benefits of blueberries, which are absolutely spot on. These versatile berries are absolutely superpower, and you're going to see a lot more research coming out around blueberries and their application into medical conditions. So we are going to get started right now on our blueberry recipes. And the first one we're going to make is the bursting blueberry chia pudding cups. So let's get started. Pull my ingredients over. Pull my glasses so I can see. All right, so if you are following along with this one, you will have already combined the low-fat milk and the yogurt and the blueberries, the chia seeds, the maple syrup, and the vanilla extract. So you're going to, should have a product that looks similar to this. If you put that in the blender and you blenderize it, you'll see similar to this. That should have stayed in the refrigerator about 30 minutes, and that allows it to become very firm. What also happens in here is that these chia seeds will absorb 10 times their weight. So that's why this becomes so very thick in such a short period of time. So we're going to start off with this recipe, and this is a beautiful, beautiful recipe once it's finished. It's really pretty in the glass. It has a great presentation, and it's versatile. You could use it for breakfast, a snack, and I think it could also be used as a dessert, and you'll see that at the end here. So let's take this. You can see this. And I'm going to take a glass, and I'm just going to scoop some of this right into the glass. It's got a great looking flavor and texture to it. It just looks really creamy and really nice in the glass. I've used a heightened glass here so you can actually see the layers, but you might want to use something smaller. That's up to you. I wanted to talk a little bit about this, the color here. Anne mentioned something that's really, really important about these blueberries. They are in an acid environment for most of the time. The pH that she mentioned, the 4.5, I think it might have been up to 5.5, is an acidic pH. When you add an alkaline to this, which would be the milk and the yogurt, or base-based or alkaline-based, it makes this turn color. So you get sort of a graying type of color in this. But if you want to prevent some of that from happening, that oxidation from happening in here, you could add a little bit of lemon juice to this and it will prevent some of it. It won't prevent all of it. There's nothing wrong with the color. It's great to use like that. That's just a little hint for you if you want to do that. Okay, so to this, we are going to add the kiwi on top of that. This is fresh kiwi. It's a beautiful color, also full of antioxidants and lots of flavor. Great summertime flavors too. This is a great dish for us while the temperatures are getting warm here. I'm just going to put that inside the glass. If you want the presentation to look really nice, put this on the outside of the glass, and that way you'll see the kiwi show up. It's a beautiful color, and the little seeds in it are nice as well. Okay, on top of that, we're going to add mango. This mango is called a champagne mango because it's a smaller size and it's very creamy. It's got a great yellowish orange color to it. Again, blasting full of antioxidants because of that. It's also got vitamin C in it and vitamin A as well. So really good for you. We're going to layer that on top. Mangoes are actually part of the almond family, which I did not realize. But a great tropical summer fruit to use. We'll layer a little bit of that on top. That's beginning to look very pretty here in the glass. Okay. Our sweet Georgia Blues, of course, go on top of that. It wouldn't be right not to have these blueberries on top. Okay, so we're getting the yogurt on the bottom, yogurt mixture, and then we have the kiwi on top and the blueberries. And I'm going to add on top of this, I'm going to add a little bit of maple syrup on top. You don't have to if you don't want to. That's up to you. You could use any kind of sweetener if you want, or none at all. That's your choice. I'm going to add a little dollop of the yogurt mixture on top. And just a sprig of mint, just to set it off. So that's a really, really pretty dish, packed full of nutrients. There's protein in here from the yogurt and the milk. This milk that I used is an almond and coconut milk combined. Coconut is one of those foods that goes really well, flavors perfectly with blueberries, and so does mint. So this is your blueberry chia pudding cup. I would guess that you could probably use this as a dessert myself. If you were to serve this, maybe a little smaller portion of this, along with a wedge of pound cake or angel food cake, I think you'd have a stunning dessert to present to your friends. So enjoy that. All right, recipe number 2 is going to be the summer Greek salad. So let me move my ingredients off and shift, and I'll be right back.
All right. While Valerie's getting set up, let me tell you one other thing about blueberries. It's the color of the skin that makes the blueberries so vitally nutrient. It's the antioxidants that are found in that blue skin. They're called anthocyanins. That's what makes it blue. And I think someone asked, how did strawberries and raspberries stack up with the blueberries? They're all good berries. All of them are wonderful. However, we don't grow very many raspberries in Georgia. Strawberries, we do have quite a few in our area, but your best bet, and especially if you don't like the seeds, is to get the blueberries. Those early varieties have almost no seeds whatsoever that we grow. So the blue color is what makes the blueberry so amazing.
Yeah, that anthocyanin is a tremendous food, and I think that's one of the attributes of this blueberry and some other fruits as well that is actually receiving attention in the medical world for all of the attributes that it contributes to medical conditions. Okay, the second recipe we're going to make is a summertime Greek blueberry salad. This is a stunner. It's a perfect salad for this time of the year, especially as the temperatures climb. We all want and crave colder foods, so this ticks that box, if you will. It also has a fantastic flavoring with these blueberries. I think you're really going to enjoy this. So we're going to start off. I'm going to use a jar to put this in because I would like to take this away with me for lunch. So when I was putting this together, I thought this is a great salad to use as a takeaway. You can do some of the preparation before, the night before, and then just take it with you when you go with some crackers or naan, and you're good to go. So let's start off with this, the jar. And if you're cooking along with me, you should have already made the dressing. So that's the olive oil, the red wine vinegar, the dill, the onion, the lemon juice, and the lemon zest, the garlic, and the salt. All right, so I'm going to give that a stir. I made this previously, last night. But here's a hint. Let's save you a little bit of time as well. So this also has feta cheese in it as well, this recipe does. You could actually put the feta cheese in this the night before and just let it sit in the refrigerator. And this does two things. One of it saves you a little bit of time. The other is that it allows the dressing and the feta cheese to get to know one another and to mingle in the ingredients, and it actually increases the flavor profile. But you know, you can do them separately if you want to, but we're gonna start off by pouring the dressing in the glass. We're going to add the feta cheese next. This feta cheese and these blueberries is to die for. I guarantee you're gonna love this. And we're also putting them in this order. We're going to end up with the lettuce on the top so that the lettuce doesn't get soggy. So we're gonna add the feta cheese here. Onto that, I'm going to add some crispy cucumbers. That gives some crunch and some refreshing taste into this salad. All right. I just have some cherry tomatoes. We'll plop those right on top. Our sweet blues go next, right on top of that. I'm going to try to scoop these in here. And too many of them run away. And on top of that, we're going to add the lettuce. You could use spinach if you wanted to. This is a mixture of greens in here. Your choice as to what you would like. And I'm just going to actually just sort of crunch those up and put them in there. All right, got the top on. And a little fork and spoon. And we're good to go. This is a great takeaway lunch. The flavors in it are really, really nice together. The blueberries and the feta cheese and the red wine vinegar and the red onion is absolutely fabulous in here. I think you're really gonna love it. Blueberries are really versatile. They take up a lot of different flavors. They work well with so many foods. One of the foods that they work really well with is balsamic vinegar. So if you wanted to switch to balsamic vinegar, that would be an alternative to here and it pairs beautifully. I guarantee you're gonna love this. And it's very elegant and you're gonna stun all your friends with this. So there you go, there's your blueberry Greek salad. All right, the next recipe we're going to make is the naan pizza. So let me switch the ingredients out and we'll start with there.
I'm really glad to see Valerie putting blueberries in her salad. They're great just to sprinkle on a tossed salad, a chicken salad. You can do, like she said, they're so versatile. You can do so much with them. And they're so easy to freeze. I don't know if you're aware of this, but all you do with the blueberry ones you buy from the store or from me, you just take it home, put it in a Ziploc bag and stick it in the freezer. That's it. You don't have to do anything. You don't wash them. You just put them in the freezer. And then when you get ready to use them, you take them out, rinse them, and they're ready to go. And they're delicious frozen. My grandkids like to eat them just like that, just frozen. It's a great treat.
Okay, I'm trying to make sure you can see this. You do it like this. Okay. This recipe was very surprising to me because I've never tried blueberries on pizza. And I have to confess, I'm a pizza lover. I think it's a fantastic food. So I was a bit skeptical at first about blueberries on pizza, but okay, I'll give it a try. This is an amazing dish. I think you're gonna love the profile on this. It's absolutely fabulous. So if you're working along with me, we're going to take the naan bread and we're going to coat it with a little bit of water. The reason why we're going to do that is because we are using a cooked bread for this pizza as opposed to pizza dough, which would have a lot of moisture in it itself. But this naan bread needs just a little bit of brushing of water on the top, and then we'll layer the ingredients on top of that. So I'm just going to take a brush and I'm just going to brush it lightly with water. This was a store-bought naan, but you could use a store-bought pizza if you wanted to, a regular pizza. That would work as well. This recipe is also very versatile. So you could add your own pizza toppings to this and just make a different creation every time you want to have it. Okay, so with that, we're also going to add the ricotta cheese and the feta cheese, which I have here. You can hardly see that, I'm sure. Anyway, the ricotta is on the bottom and the feta cheese is on the top. Again, these are beautiful pairings with this blueberry. I absolutely love this. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about ricotta cheese, or ricotta cheese, actually is what it's called. Ricotta cheese is an Italian cheese, and it really, the word means recooked. Ricotta means recooked. Ricotta cheese is made from the way when other cheese is made, like buffalo cheese or goat cheese, when the curds are formed, it's strained and a liquid comes out the bottom, and that's called the whey, and it's got a lot of protein in it. That whey is then what you can use to make ricotta cheese, okay? So here's basically what you do. It's really easy. So you can use an animal milk, but you can't use a plant-based milk because it won't work the same. So you need an animal milk. So you can use cow's milk, goat milk, buffalo milk. And then you basically just cook that milk until it reaches about 180 degrees. You let it cool slightly. And there are only two other ingredients. One of them is salt, and the other is either vinegar or lemon juice, or you could use half and half, depending on what kind of flavor you want this ricotta cheese to have. So once you stir in the lemon juice or the vinegar, you're going to see that it begins to curdle, right? Lumps are going to form in it, right? And that's where you take it out, you strain it in cheesecloth, and then you let it dry as much as you want. If you want a more liquid ricotta cheese, then take it away and store it at that point. If you want a very dry ricotta cheese, let it drain completely. And that's as hard as it gets for making ricotta cheese. You can just store it in a refrigerator, and it's a great spread. It makes great dips, and of course on pizza as well. So we're going to take this and we're just going to mash these two together. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we do want the cheeses to blend. If you're working along with me, you should have already caramelized the onions mixture. And if you did, you will have smelled the aroma that came out of that. It was absolutely fabulous. It just reminds you of being in a pizza parlor waiting on your pizza to be delivered. That's what I felt like when I was cooking those caramelized onions. All right, so a little hint here. If you're making this at home, you probably will have pulled out the feta cheese and the ricotta cheese and start making the recipe. And the feta cheese might not have an opportunity to melt completely in the oven because we're cooking this for just a short period of time. It's only 10 minutes. So here's a hint. When you're making the caramelized onions, go ahead and mix this cheese right into that warm caramelized onions and let those two get to know one another. So it'll make the cheese, it'll give the cheese an opportunity to melt, number one, and it will also deepen the profile, the flavor of those two ingredients. But because I had to do this beforehand, I'm going to just spread this on right now. So you simply just take the cheese, and we're gonna spread it onto the naan. This naan is sitting on a piece of parchment paper. And spread that all over. The little chunks of cheese are great to have in here, or you could make it as smooth as you want to. And then on top of that, I'm going to add the caramelized onion mixture. So we'll just spread that around. And now come those super blueberries. I guarantee you, you will love this pizza. And your family and friends are going to be really impressed with you as well. The flavor of this is absolutely fantastic. I was so surprised, and I'm a believer of blueberry on pizza. Okay, from there, it just goes into the oven for about, at 400 degrees for about 10 minutes. You'll see the cheese start to melt and a little bubbling on top of the caramelized onions. It's really, really a great combination. So I made one this morning, so I'll show you what I have behind me. Okay, that's it right there. It is fabulous. Now, the recipe calls for a few greens to be added on top, so you could do that. I don't particularly like to cook greens like this. I like mine to be raw, so I kept the greens raw and just put them on top here. So let me tell you, but when you bite into this, what's going to happen? You are going to get some flavor sensations that you will not forget. The blueberries with the honey are great. But then you add this acid from the red onions that are in here and the olive oil and a little bit of fire from the red pepper. When you bite into this, I guarantee you are going to have a flavor sensation in your mouth that you will not forget. Nor will you forget the aroma, which is quite nice as well. So keep this in mind as a favorite pizza to serve your guests. I think you'll enjoy it for a long time to come. All right, our fourth recipe is a blueberry leather. So let me change ingredients and we'll make that.
All right, while Miss Valerie's getting that ready to go, just wanted to remind everybody that we did put the recipes in the chat, but they're also featured on the Columbus State University Wellbeing site. The recipes from today's cooking demo and the one we did last month's recipes are also there. So.
This recipe, you have to approach it with a sense of adventure and patience. That's what I've learned when I've made this. This is like a fruit roll-up. It's packed full of nutrients, absolutely packed full of nutrients. Sorry, I just need to grab my whisk. Okay, so if you're following along with me, you should have already pureed the ingredients that are in here, which are just the blueberries, the lemon juice, the maple syrup, the water, and the orange zest. You just puree them. So it's really easy to make. The downside of this is that it takes about 5 hours to cook. So you're going to cook it in an oven about 200 degrees for about 5 hours, and you're going to let all this sugar dissolve and to get a paste. Now, I'll tell you what happened the first time I made this. That's why I said you have to have patience. I made like blueberry crackle is what I made. There were shards of blueberry. The flavor was great, but it wasn't a fruit roll-up like I was looking for, something I could roll. This is more like breaking off little pieces of sharp blueberry. But don't despair if that happens to you. Save it because it's great in smoothies. It's great in ice cream. It's a delicious product, but it just didn't turn out like I wanted it to. So I did it again. So here's what I did. I put the blueberry puree in here. And all this is just a baking pan with a parchment sheet on the top of it. And you simply pour it on. And you spread it out. Okay, so you get the idea with that. So you're very patient for 5 hours while this cooks in the oven at 200. So you need to do a little planning ahead of time. But here's how to test it. Every now and again, about every hour and a half, go in and just put your finger in it lightly, carefully. It's 200 degrees, so you're not going to get burned, but you need to be very careful with it. Just lightly touch it, and if it comes up and stains your finger, then it's not ready, okay? So you want it to be tacky, but not liquidy. Okay? And you may take you a couple of times, but it's a great experiment. It's fun to do, and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. So I've got, this is a piece that was just left over before I rolled it. You see, it's pretty thin. It's kind of rubbery. That's what you want as a fruit roll-up, okay? Delicious, absolutely delicious, great snack. If you are a fruit roll-up type of person, you're gonna love this, okay? And then you just take it and roll it around, and then I just decorated it a bit here. But that's the fruit leather, the blueberry fruit leather, packed full of nutrients. Couldn't get any more dense than this for nutrients. That's just great, packed full of antioxidants as well. So that's the blueberry leather. And I'm just gonna put the rest of the items that we've made here just so we can take a look at them all.
While Valerie is getting all of her items set up, these recipes were just incredible. I loved all of them. I'm going to have to try some of those. We have a blueberry cooking contest every year here in Alma, right before the Blueberry Festival. So I'll just have to try some of those. I think I'll win. I sure do.
Oh, thank you. This has really been fun and such an exciting adventure as well. And it highlights one of our great products, the sweet Georgia blueberries. So I think it's fabulous. So here is the chia pudding and the summer Greek blueberry salad. And I added a little naan there in case you wanted to take that along with your lunch. The non-blueberry pizza. That is fabulous. That happens to be my favorite out of these. And the blueberry leather. All right, that's the end of this segment for cooking demonstrations this time. Now, any questions?
If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, or you can come off of mute and ask Valerie yourself, or Miss Ann for that, if you have any questions for her.
Sounds like silence out there.
It does. So that means, ladies, y'all did a fantastic job, and there's no questions for y'all. We thank you both for coming and being part of our cooking demo today. And as always, Miss Valerie, we really appreciate you. And Miss Ann, hopefully we can have you back again. But we appreciate you doing this as well.
Right. So, you guys now have the full story on blueberries. So there's a reason not to enjoy some of these sweet Georgia blueberries. I thank Ann so much for being here, and I hope that you'll go by her blueberry barn and see her in Alma, Georgia. I plan on doing that myself. I also want to thank you for being part of this, the people who are viewing that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Lashika and to CSU for hosting this. All right, you guys, we'll see you on the next one. And in the meantime, go enjoy some blueberries and wash your hands.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Well done, Valerie. That was fun. Oops.
Thanks.